RetroDaze.
Can you feel it? We're nestled all cozy-like right between the autumnal equinox, which was September 23rd, and the first day of October. It's a wonderful place to be. Everything smells of apple pie, Halloween decorations are sprouting in people's front lawns like spooky toadstools, and horror movies are taking center stage on streaming services.
But best of all, we're starting our Halloween content here at RetroDaze. As promised at the end of last week's video, today's topic is a revisit of fast food promotions with a spooky twist. Grab a seasonal beverage, pop some popcorn, and turn down the lights as we present some of the best Halloween fast food promotions from the 80s and 90s. Halloween promotions weren't always as prevalent as they are today. In the past 10 years or so, Frankenstein's monster flipped a switch, causing a surge in Halloween's popularity. Suddenly, every corporation has to release at least one pumpkin spice product, stores start selling Halloween products in August, new monster cereal variations emerge after decades of stagnation, and fast food restaurants unleash a yearly spectacle of themed foods. Just last year, McDonald's even released Halloween buckets for the first time in 6 years, if you don't count the Charlie Brown variations from 2016, which we don't. This truly is the golden age, strike that, the orange age of Halloween. That isn't to say there weren't some truly outstanding Halloween promotions in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it's just that there were fewer of them. In 1986, McDonald's launched the first ever Halloween Pumpkin Happy Meal, which included one of three pails: McPumpkin, McBoo, and McGoblin. All three, unlike later buckets, were in the style of a pumpkin, the only difference being the jack-o'-lantern's expression. Now, there were no Halloween buckets in 1988, but when they returned in '89, McBoo had morphed from a pumpkin to a ghost, and McGoblin was replaced with a green pail named McWitch. There were quite a few bucket promotions over the years, with each iteration bringing something new to the table. There were glow-in-the-dark versions, assorted designs, cookie-cutter lids, vinyl bags in place of pails, and a smattering of cartoon-themed buckets like the aforementioned Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown designs. This promotion proved so popular over the years that McDonald's even brought them back for Halloween 2022, and there are reports that we may just see them again this year. While we're on the subject of McDonald's, we might as well talk about their other major Halloween promotion, the Halloween McNugget Buddies. They first appeared in live-action form for commercials way back in 1984. Their first appearance in costume was to promote the Halloween buckets in 1986. Those with a keen eye might also notice that this same commercial was used for a number of the Halloween Pail commercials, merely changing the final segment when they showed the new styles for that year. Although the McNugget Buddies made their debut as plastic toys in 1988, they wouldn't don their iconic Halloween costumes until 1993. This first series offered 6 McNuggets with changeable Halloween costumes. 3 of the costume designs, the vampire, mummy, and ghost, were ripped straight out of the 1988 commercial. The other 3 costumes deviated from the pre-established ensembles and instead introduced the pumpkin, witch, and Frankenstein's monster outfits. As cool as these toys were, the bundled Happy Meal boxes for this promotion were equally cool. The text on the boxes invited you to a spooky pumpkin patch where there were jokes, games, and puzzles to enjoy. The Buddies returned in 1996 with 6 new costumes, this time shifting away from what we'd call classic Halloween, with themes like dragon, alien monster, and even Ronald McDonald himself. We can't spend the entire episode on McDonald's, even though there are still promos involving Halloween plates, candy dispensers, scary sound cassettes, and coupon books. Nope, we have got to move on, and transitioning to the Dominos trick-or-treat deal feels appropriate, as it represents the other side of the Halloween promotion coin. Whereas the McDonald's promos were all tangible and highly publicized, the Domino's deal was more of an experience that many kids had no idea even existed. In fact, in all our research, we could only uncover a single newspaper ad to prove it really happened at all. It reads, "Trick or treat at Domino's Pizza," and offers a free serving of pizza and a cup of Coke between 6 and 8 p.m. on Halloween night. It's unclear if this was a national promotion or something local franchises were doing, but if I were a kid out trick-or-treating and had the chance to stop in for a free slice of pizza, I darn well would have taken it. Ooh, let's find our way back onto the lighted path and stop in at Taco Bell for one of their Monster Eye straws. These creepy drinking utensils came out in 1996 and, unlike the Dominos deal, were widely promoted. For an additional 69 cents with any meal purchase, the original series offered 4 eyeball variations and came with a pack of sweet tarts. The promo was so popular, they brought the ghoulish straws back the following year, calling it the Return of Monster Eyes. The designs became a bit more elaborate this time around, with colored plastic eyelids where the eyes would pop in, rather than simply being held by a spiral section of straw like those originals. They even paired the promotion with a giveaway which required you to watch real TV each night to see which eye would appear so you could note it on your Monster Eye game card. In 1997, Burger King revealed their Universal Monsters Halloween promotion. In every Kids Club meal, there was one of 4 Universal Monster figures with an interactive base and glow-in-the-dark sticker. While most of the McDonald's promos went heavily with the Halloween vibes, this Burger King premium felt much more sophisticated, as if they were actually targeting adults rather than kids. Instead of amorphous chicken nuggets and goofy costumes, we were getting complete, honest-to-God action figures of the most popular Universal monsters. They had movable arms, legs, and heads, except for the creature whose head didn't move because of his water squirt action. Not only that, but they came with what could be called, if we're being generous, mini play sets, each with its own novelty action. Dracula and Wolfman could rise from their respective graves, Frankenstein's monster lit up on the base, and the creature could squirt water. Our next stop on this spooky tour is Hardees, circa 1989, for their Halloween hideaways. Like some of the other promotions on today's list, these toys were an add-on costing $1.29 with purchase of hash rounds or any dessert. The hideaways were unique 2-piece toys that came with a plushie and a glow-in-the-dark plastic base they hid inside. Each week saw a unique design and another reason for kids to beg their parents for a Hardees dessert. And while we're on the topic of Hardees, all the way back in 1977, they had another unique promotion. This one is a bit of a mixed bag, and I'd argue the real draw here was the experience more than the toy you'd receive. With the purchase of a burger and fries, kids were gifted a special coin they could use in the Hardees Fun Machine, which was essentially a 25-cent vending machine with some promotional imagery. The toys seemed to vary between your standard vending machine fare, like plastic spiders and eyeball rings. The Fun Machine was in stores past Halloween, but they'd stock it with all spooky gifts for the season. One of the most prominent promotions we saw as kids in the 80s and 90s were free Halloween bags, usually given out by a whole host of fast food restaurants and stores. There were bags from Pizza Hut, Wendy's, Burger Chef, Burger King, H-E-B, Toys R Us, and just as many local or regional stores. They often came with coupons attached to the bottom of the bag or safety tips written among the gorgeous Halloween imagery. No, these weren't toys, but all these years later, the plastic Halloween bags stand out as essential elements of everyone's trek through the darkened corridors of late-night neighborhoods.
Now, this might be the end of our first Halloween episode, but fear not, spooky friends. We're planning a full month of Halloween episodes all through October, with goblins, ghouls, and ghosts galore, and some other things that maybe don't start with G. Well, just as we've explored the many Halloween promotions offered by fast food restaurants through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we'll scour the dark side of nostalgia for the best in autumnal content and present it all to you in glorious autumnal retro vision. Until then, what absolutely epic Halloween promotions did we miss? What are the ones that stand out in your mind as the pinnacle of spooky splendor? Which premiums do you still own or collect? I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. And if you enjoy our content, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and maybe even activating that ubiquitous notification bell. It really does make a huge difference. Let's meet again next week to celebrate yesteryear right here on RetroDaze.
Clicky clacky.